Hello everyone. Let me try that one more time. Hello everyone, my name is Tan. In this series, I'm going to talk to other designers, learn about their unique experiences and their journey into design. So my first guest of this series is Minh.
Hello everyone, my name is Minh and at the moment I am a product designer, colleague of Tân and having knowing him for the past 1.5 years, is it?
Yep.
Yeah, it's been a great journey and I'm very excited to be here today to share about myself. So I think when I was young, there was two things that I liked the most. So first of all is to do something related to design, like painting, drawing, or making something. Yeah, and then the other thing is that I like to watch a lot of animation, especially Sherlock Holmes animation. But then around college time, I choose computer science as my career because I thought that I would earn a lot of money thanks to it. Yeah, but the thing is when I joined computer science as my degree, I couldn't connect with it. I feel that I was lost. And after graduation, based on some of my friends' recommendation, I entered my company as a web developer. But I struggle a lot. One day I saw that my boss have a post for UI design, and I talked to my friends, and he said that I should apply because during university time, every time there's anything related to design, UI, I just volunteer to do.
How long ago was this?
So that was in 2012.
You started in Singapore. How did you get to Singapore?
Wow, fun story. My elder brothers like to go to Singapore to study, but at that time he has a degree already. But he saw that I scored quite okay during graduation from high school, so he used my score, card and everything to apply for the school in Singapore. And I was so lucky that I got it. And at that time that I saw, I joined the orientation day in Vietnam, and people are so talented and so friendly, and they share a lot of things about Singapore that I feel excited, and at that point I decided that, okay, I want to go. At the time, when I was a UI designer, then I feel that there's a lot of questions I couldn't answer. But when around 2016, then I learned more and more about the product design process. And actually, when I know about it and I read more about it, I feel that this is bring back a lot of memories about Sherlock Holmes and detective, because I feel that the process for a product designer and detective are very similar.
It goes full circle.
So I feel that, okay, we started out with a problem and then we get to analyze it, we talk to people, reduce the assumption and coming up with solution just like what a detective do. So I apply a number of opportunities, and thankfully around 2017, then I got into another company as a product designer, UX UI designer at that time. So in Singapore, I stayed until 2022. Then I go back to Vietnam at that time. I feel that after 15 years living in Singapore, I learned a lot and grow a lot as a person, especially in my career. But there's also other factors involved, and I missed Vietnam a lot at that time. So I decided finally that, okay, I want to go back to Vietnam. I feel belong there, and I want to explore other part of myself, not just my career.
Okay. Your decision to move back to Vietnam and become, still doing product design. What was that like?
Oh wow! I think the process to make that decision happening over one night. I think around 12 at night, I called my brothers back in Vietnam. I had 1 or 2 hours conversation with him, and he totally support me. And that was just right after COVID-19 as well. However, looking back, I think it's a really long journey to get there and make that decision. On the one hand, I feel that Singapore was really, really great for me, a very professional place to work, learning a lot, having a lot of opportunity to learn about product design and advance in my career. But at the same time, everything was so packed in a way that like I feel that I blink an eyes and 15 years later. So I feel that there's a lot of areas in my life that was unexplored. So like Singapore, perhaps you it's always there's a lot of workload. Like long working hours is normal. Going to the libraries in the weekend is normal, and a lot of coffee shop just become like co-working place for us over there. And I start to feel disconnect with other areas in my life, the people in Vietnam, my family, and my Vietnamese at that time sucks. I lose a lot of vocabularies, like I shared with you before. I went to.
Vietnamese is still good.
Now it's a lot better. Now it's a lot better after some years in Vietnam. Yeah. So at that time, after I realized I miss Vietnam so much, I decided to go back to Vietnam, and I think that Vietnam is like going home to me. Like, but also it's a combination of old and new. So the streets are old, but everything happening on the street in my commute back in my hometown is totally new. I nearly got lost a number of times over there. And also like the younger generation are very exciting now. I feel they are very international. A lot of new things happening, and I can speak a lot more Vietnamese, having Vietnamese food every day. So yeah. So the part that was not explored in me when I was in Singapore, I get to do that in Vietnam. So yeah, so I think just in short, in Singapore, very good place to work, and I'm very thankful for my experience over there. It become a huge part of my life in my career. But in Vietnam, I think it's a little bit more aligned with my life now. I like to advance in my career, but also have little time to explore other part of my life, connect with other Vietnamese, my family and friends.
Like during that time you're in Singapore, until the time you moved back to Vietnam, what's one thing that you feel like changed the most about yourself?
I think my mindset changed a little bit. So I was very career focused back in Singapore because I think that's like everything happening so fast at work and it's constantly on my mind. And like I mentioned before, things go so fast, not just for me but for everyone. So our head is filled with like working stuff inside. But when I go back to Vietnam, I have time to work and study, advance in my career. But also I had other part, like thinking about like having a coffee with you like this. We didn't have time so much in Singapore to do this and try many other things, hanging out in the weekend, visiting my families and relatives. Yeah, so things like that make me realize that happiness can come from a lot of other places, not just about work. Yeah. I think one thing about Singapore work culture is that it's very fast-paced, and it's the ideas of product design and UX design come to Singapore a little bit earlier than in Vietnam. So at that time, I think, but outside of the fact that it's earlier than a couple of years, other thing I think is quite standardized. The process is the same. The workload is a little bit heavier, but outside of that, not so much different. Perhaps because we are at an international company as well, so I feel that it's quite similar in terms of the working style. And yeah.
Now that you've been living here in Vietnam since 2022, have you seen companies here now moving towards that direction of product design first?
Well, I think I'm very hopeful that, and I believe that it's going to mature a lot more very fast in the next couple of years. And I start to see a lot more opportunities opening in Vietnam for product design, senior level and lead level as well. So there's some great side in that, because when we look at a job market where there's only like junior level job opportunity, we know that, okay, it's not very mature yet. Yeah, so I think the side, all of the side are aligning for product design in Vietnam now. And in the next couple of years, I think even more opportunities will come. Yeah.
What would be your advice to anyone that is trying to get ready for when those opportunities come? What's maybe a skill that you double down on?
I don't know. I feel like just like keep going.
Keep going.
Yeah. I think when I was young, I feel my generation and perhaps your generation, we didn't know how to make decisions because we was not born with technology. We don't get access to information. But right now, young people face different challenges, like because they was born with technology, so much information going on, and in the end, I don't know which source to trust. But so it's kind of like challenging for me to give advice, but if there's only one piece of advice, I think just keep going. We learn from mistakes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so like if you try things and you fail, just like don't quit, continue to do it. Other people will jump in and ask for help, and yeah.
I agree with you. Sometimes you gotta fail a lot to get where you're at.
Recently, I listened to podcasts and there was a story that I like a lot. Like when we look at the tree and plants in the winter, we saw that all of the branches are lifeless. It seemed like there's no life at all. Winter will come by, right? And then spring will come, summer will come, so all of the leaves would be there, and then the plant would blossom. A lot of and life. I mean, like, life has been there all the way. It's just waiting for the right condition. So, like, if you quit along the way, you would not be able to see the blossoms. I love that story so much.
You mentioned about technology and this new age. What's your thoughts on like the use of AI and design? How do you think it's going to affect us as product designers?
I think it would be a really great enhancement for us as a designer. Yeah. So let's say for the product design process, it can enhance so much, right? I think we start to use it, perhaps like starting out with copywriting. I start take out with it, and then I learn on the fact that like other companies generating image like Grab, they do have like a plugin or something to generate images for their. Do I act allowed to say?
You're allowed to say anything you want.
Anyway, and then like during our ideation process, looking for ideas, and like we even asked ChatGPT to. They can assess and evaluate some of the designs using certain standards like 10 heuristic from Northern Newman, things like that, and ideation for different ideas. And and I know that some companies are trying to use AI as a test users. Kind of like very first round of user testing. I don't know. I don't trust that yet. But perhaps in the next couple of years, and of course the AI will totally change UI design in the future. I think it's just like on the interaction will change.
How you adapt to it.
Yeah.
So we still have a job for now.
I think we do. We do.
What's one thing that you did before that you thought, oh man, I leveled up on this skill, and now I had a lot of mistakes before, and I wish I could have known this earlier, this one thing earlier?
One mistake or weakness?
Yeah, weakness before.
Weakness. Oh,
and then you, for me, for example, like my visual design skills when I first got into design weren't that great.
You're great. What are you saying?
I'm still not the greatest visual designer, but I've just done it a lot, so I got better.
I think you're just humble. I saw your work. Very talented. I think when it comes to challenge, I'm naturally very introverted. I think it had been a long time challenge for me. I so normally sometimes when people first meet me, I would ask really deep question like what define you as a person and just like freak people out.
Straight right away. He's not ready for that.
So I try to tone down a lot. But the good thing is that I think all of that can be learned in the product design process as well, especially when we learn about interviewing skill, right? Warming up question at just like small talks, like how we can connect with people, make them feel great and easy to be more open to the conversation. And then during the interviewing process, we learn to observe, listen, observing their behaviors, their emotion, and they ask deeper question along the way. So I think all of those things really changed me a lot as a person, and it helped me to tone down a lot and turn up my small talk skills when I need to. Yeah. So
That is
for me,
a great point because I think interviewing skills is something that is super hard. Honestly, Minh is a really good interviewer. You go deep, and the thing about interviewing is listening.
Thank you. I learned a lot from like observing you guys, how you guys work, and seeing your presentation at work as well. Yeah.
Thank you. So you mentioned like your soft skills. That's one thing that you got better at. Is that something you would recommend junior designers to get better at? I know there's always the technical skills, like the visual, but yeah, maybe get your perspective on that.
Oh, I think like as a designer now, soft skills are equally important compared to technical skills. So I think like if I can go back and change one thing about myself is to study all of the soft skills before. So like things like presentation skill, knowing how to share about your ideas or try to advocate design process or a project or something like that. I think all of these things are equally important compared to, or even more important compared to technical skill, because technical skill you can learn it in like 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But soft skill is entirely different story. One person is so different from another person, and as a product designer, we speak to like 5-10 people for one project or even more. Yeah, so start with that first.
Your English though is really good, and
Oh wow, thank you.
I think people are going to be curious about that. How did
Oh
your English
wow.
get so good?
First of all, thank you. Actually, I studied English for a really long time. Up until 2023, I still continue to have like online tutor. If I want to do something, I will stick with it for a long time. I met some of the younger designer. I think they are really great. Their English are good. It's just that their process, because they come from startup background and smaller company, their process is just a little bit unusual. And when they apply to bigger company, they got failed in the first few round interview because the process is less mature. Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit more about this process?
Wow, I think my process is very standardized, and I got inspired a lot from the current work process as well as what I study from my master degrees. So it's always starting out with like interviewing or collect the requirement from the stakeholders. And so at that time we kind of like have a general ideas of what we are going to do, what is the business outcome, perhaps like some of the success metric that we can identify. And then after that we narrow down into the problem statement. For me, like for each of my project, I tend to like ask myself what is the problem I try to solve, and then who are the users, what are the pain points based on the problem statement that we had earlier, and from then on, if we have enough time, and I hope we always have, to interview like users, getting their real feedback on their needs and the pain point and other things before we come up with like the first concept of the design, and then using the concept we can continue to test with our users and also the stakeholders, getting improve over one or a few versions if we have time, until like all of the success metric would be really meet the standard that we defined before. And so I think at that time then we were good to go, and then it's good to hand off to the development team at that time as well. Yeah. So I think that's the normal standard process that I go through. But I know that like in different project, different team, domain, company, we have like a more adaptable, a more suitable process. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like pretty fortunate to be in product design. Like I mentioned, I feel that like this process really teach me a lot about important skills, not just at work but also in life as well. So from someone who was really introverted, I feel that I'm starting to connect more with other people. I ask like deeper question about work life, but also like I feel that now like it's not product design. I don't know what else I can do.
But go back to, I don't think you'll go back to computer science, right?
Oh no, please. I work with them.
You shared so much already. Thank you, Minh, for taking your time.
Thank you for the opportunity. I feel that this really gives me a chance to reflect on my career so far in a deeper sense.
Yeah. Well, you had actually a pretty long career already. Thank you guys for joining, and thank you, Minh, again for
Pleasure.
For sharing your perspective on your journey, your life, and everything. Is there anything else, Minh, that you wanted to share?
Oh wow! Subscribe, comment, and like the videos. This is a great guide to follow everyone. I learned a lot. I learned a lot about design watching his project and how he interact with other people. Yeah, and thank you for the opportunity to be here. I think I enjoy it a lot more than I thought I could. Thank you.
Yeah. Again, guys, this is UX10 in YouTube. Everywhere else, I'm just Tan or Tan. I can hold you out here. I'll try to.
This is very professional.